You're watching the
Best Builder Man
channel. On this episode of JC's Presentations, different kinds of bridges and can we predict a bridge failure? There is one proverb that relates to bridges, and that is, build a bridge by extending your hand. What this means is, in order to see the finished product, you gotta reach out and think of an idea to create a timeline and bridge point A to point B to a completed goal. This is saying that if you want to see a finished product, it just doesn't start off as a finished product. You have to think of the plan, and then it takes time to get to that point. You just can't say, oh, I want a bridge, for example, at these points here, and then next second a bridge appears. No, you have to take the time to put the bridge there. Here are some takeaways I hope you learned from this episode. A different kind of bridges, some past examples of failures, and the big question, can we predict a bridge failure? Hi, I'm JC Webb, and I'd like to take you on a journey to understand these three takeaways. In order to see examples of bridges, first we need to know what a bridge is. The definition of a bridge states a structure carrying a road, path, railroad, or canal across a river, road, railroad, or other obstacle. There are many kinds of different bridges, as they include suspension bridges like the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, California. Arch bridges like the St. Anthony Falls Bridge in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Beam bridges like the Embarcadero Bridge over Lake Merritt Channel in Oakland, California. Truss bridges like the Astoria-Megler Bridge in Astoria, Oregon. And many more. Join us after the break about each different bridge. Now back to the show. What is a suspension bridge? A suspension bridge is a bridge that connects point A to point B through suspension cables connecting from the ground to the tower above. The first suspension bridges appeared in the 19th century. They had the cables, but they didn't have the towers. So as you can see, modern suspension bridges evolved from the old ones. What is an arch bridge? An arch bridge is a bridge with abutments at each end, shaped as a curved arch. An arch bridge works by transferring the weight of the bridge and its loads partially into a horizontal thrust restrained by the abutments at either side. Arch bridges have been built since the ancient times due to easy access. They have been built in Rome and date back to 605 AD. What is a beam bridge? A beam bridge is a bridge that consists of one or more spans which are supported by an abutment or pier at each end. The first beam bridges have appeared in ancient Rome, as the first was the pons sublicius consisting of wood and lumber, and it was built in the 7th century BC. It wasn't until 484 BC when Herodotus, a Greek historian, decided to write about the bridge. What is a truss bridge? A truss bridge is a bridge whose load-bearing superstructure is composed of a truss, a structure of connected elements usually forming triangular units. Early truss bridges used wood because it was abundant, and they used iron rods for tension members. Truss bridges were not always common in the U.S. They started to become common when they were being built from the 1870s through the 1930s. The next thing in order to answer the big question is we have to look at some past examples of bridge failures. The first example is the Sunshine Skyway built in Tampa Bay, Florida. It collapsed in 1980 when an MB Summit Venture's radar failed during a thunderstorm. The ship's collision with one of the bridge's support columns caused the structure to collapse, sending 6 cars, a Greyhound bus, plummeting 150 feet into Tampa Bay. The next example is the I-35 West Mississippi River Bridge. It killed 13 people and injured 145. The bridge, prior to collapse, the engineers saw something in the beams that didn't look right, but they didn't do anything about it. Later, on August 2007, it collapsed because it could not support the load anymore. The third example was the Tahoma Narrows Bridge. It was built to sway during the wind speeds that got up really fast, but the bridge failed because wind speeds got up to 40 miles per hour, and they did not expect that. It caused one side of the bridge to snap, causing the other side to go with it. Join us after the break about each different bridge. Now back to the show. Now it's time to answer the big question. Can we predict a bridge failure? Yes, we can, but we have to use some studies first. These studies are risk analysis methods. There are 3 kinds of risk analysis methods. They include expert opinion, reliability analysis, and failure analysis. Expert opinion is used when data is low and there is a high bridge failure rate. Reliability analysis is used when not enough historical bridge failure data is low and as a backup must be reliable to modern analysis. Failure analysis is used to determine all future failures that are possible based off of statistical philosophy of past bridge failures. So now, it's easy to predict a bridge failure. On the next episode of JC's Productions, how to write a resume featuring the UNLV English department. If you have any questions or concerns, leave them in the comments down below. This video was brought to you by Fast Builderman Productions. If you like this video, then go ahead and hit the like button. Also, let your voices be heard by commenting down below. One more thing, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell, so you'll get notified for every single video I post. I'll see you in the next video.